Okay, so right now I'm going to show you exactly specification from me for what relic to use. And before we go on to that, I'm just going to show you right now with less words than the previous video exactly how much and what you need for your characters. So first you want to buy all of this. You can buy this actually from the exchange shop. Some of the other stuff you can get from donating. So you want to have sets on all your characters and plus them to 100 if you can. After that you want for the upgradement everything to be the same, for the revolution the same, for the soul also. Here you want to try to make all 4 of them critical bonus on all your 4 characters. For the quest it goes the same. For that artifact also the same thing, and that's basically it for your heroes. For your wings you want to get them to stage 9 and stop, and the rest is just over here from the wing soul. You want to focus on critical, prestige and attack. You can up every other on level 8, let's say. For your dragons, if you just start the game, save all your materials for the dragon until the dragon gets to level and until you get to 1.5 million battle rate, and after that you're going to get the dark one, upgrade it to 80, then the fire, then the wind, then the light, earth, and last is excuse me, last is ice. As for the spirit, you should focus on your main dragon. The evolution the same, focus on your main dragon. As you get more dragons to level 80, you can evolve them to stage 15. Over here you should focus on your main dragon again. Here you wanna have from the all dark light and all the other materials. This thing over here you need a bunch of this and it's really slow for it. For your armor I suggest you save as much as you can from this one to put it on the last one, and then the opposite side. Over here you're going to do 1 level by 1. For your mount, as you get to stage 9 you should stop. Over here you should upgrade the stuff here only on your S mounts. If the mount is, let's say, with all the 5 stars, you get more bonus from this. And for the blood I suggest you focus only on this, but you need level 76 for it, so it's going to take a little bit of time. Here are my current stats. You cannot quite see them because of the wings and the weapon, but this is it for now. As I said in the previous video, when you fight you want to focus on when you attack. When you have 100 rage, use mystic, you use the 3rd skill. After that you're going to use the 2nd one, then you are going to use your Q skill, your awakening skill. After that you're going to use again 2, and after that you're going to use your talent skill, this one particularly. And basically that's it. You want to focus on upgrading critical on your talents for the range again, and that's basically it. For your stats you want to focus on critical, prestige and attack. Basically that's it. So that's for all the other things I wanted to quick say. Now let's get on for the relics. So basically what you want to do is, first of all, you need to try really hard to get this murder weapon. It's the best relic you can get, and when you get it, upgrade it to level 10, 15. I didn't have it, so that's why this one is level 17. And basically after you get this one to level 20, you want to focus on your main and strongest relics to get them to level 10. Right now I'm going to upgrade this one and this one to level 10, and also the ground power. What you basically want to do is, as much as you can, you want to try to avoid them. As you can see, mine is on stage 9, but level skill is 8. Today I'm going to make it level 9. For the equipment, what I suggest you use on you, and I will say quickly why. Murderer, because it's the strongest relic, and you can get up to I don't know what's the maximum percentage, but let's say 4 or 5 times the damage you deal. You also want to have shiny armor, because it's going to give you defense. You want fairy hammer, because it's going to attack all the characters, heroes, monsters, or whatever on the other side, and that's going to help you. And you want to focus on trying to upgrade it also. You're gonna use the thunder hammer because this is supposed to be your strongest relic, but as you get more the relic, you're going to focus on making this one your strongest. You also want to have Loki's mirror, because you can dodge, and if you're fighting with stronger players, you can actually dodge and maybe even kill them. I suggest you use Grolil on yourself, not on any of the characters, because it's also something like quite the same like the ground power, but it actually has a bigger chance of you getting it from any kind of event, and the percentage of the attack given to you is almost the same, but the chance is much bigger, and any of your heroes or allies can get it also. So this is much better, if you ask me, to use it on yourself. I suggest you use Feared Core, because it's going to increase your defense. That can help a little bit. Over here, right now I'm using Lightning Wand, because that's the only thing I have left like to use on me, and it basically can attack a couple of enemies and hit some kind of damage. But I would suggest for you, if you can, if you have this one, to use it on yourself, or if you don't, use the devil piece on your ground swordsman. The reason why I say, because if you don't use it on you, you can take the vampire mask and use it on yourself. This absorbs HP equipped to your attack, so basically most of the time you're going to get this 15% chance to absorb HP from your attack. And it's good because the ground swordsman attacks all the enemies, so that skill is going to be useful. So this is basically for you. If you have this amount of spots like me, I am almost going to unlock 6 more on here on Pandora. But basically I'm saying this if you have Pandora. If you don't have Pandora, I'm going to tell you which one of the heroes you should use and how to use him. But I'm using stuff that can debuff the enemies from, because she's going to attack first. So the first thing you wanna have is Loki's head, because it can mark the enemy and they can miss their attack, so it's really helpful. The second thing you wanna have on her is demoniac flag because it can take the range from the heroes, so they're going to use normal attack. That can help you also. You want to use arc power because it's going to increase your defense in the front line. For me it's for her and the Grand Swordsman, and for the allies in the background it's going to increase their attack by 6%. So basically most of the time you're going to get this for the second round or the first round, so it's really useful. The other thing I'm using is this because some kind of more defense getting from it, and I'm going to switch it if I have something better, but right now I don't, so that's why I'm using it. If you have other relics you can use them that are debuffs, but this is the only reason why I'm using it, to give some kind of battle rate score to her. And also I'm using Archangel wand because it's going to decrease enemies critical rate, and this almost happens every time, so it's really helpful. My Grand Swordsman is in the second position, but I'm going to cover up Void Sorceress because she is the one who's going to attack second. If I use Heart of an Entirety, it can charm the enemies, and basically better use it on this one because her main skill is to charm the enemies. So basically if she misses someone and doesn't charm them, this will give your second hit a bigger percent. Some people use it on her, but I already think that's useless. Also something I'm using on her is Trident because it decreases enemy's defense, and her skill decreases the enemy defense, and I'm not sure, I think the Archangel will debuffs this one, or this one debuffs some of the others. That's why I'm using it over here. I'm using Wild Horn because it can increase your defense in the allies of the front row, so she attacks the second time, and basically most of the time my heroes, this one is going to attack first, this one second, and then maybe the enemy. So this is helpful to increase their defense. Right now I'm using Divine Crystal because there's a chance of me getting immune to any kind of effect. So if somehow when this character hits first and enemy's character hit second, not the Void Sorceress, this can help you not get debuffed or something. So that's the reason. I'm using Athena's armor because I don't have anything else better to use on her, and it can basically heal you. So, and also it can increase allies attack by 30%, so it's something. For the Grand Swordsman, I use Medusa's Mask. If you use them, use her, let's say, on Pandora, on the Void Sorcerers. One time the Trident is going to debuff Medusa's Mask and it won't work. The next time I think it was Arc or Walker's Head, I'm not sure. That's why I'm using it on him, and he also attacks excuse me for my voice, but basically this is the reason I'm using it, because it can stun the enemies and I don't have anything to debuff it, and if I use it on me, it's going to debuff the Galil, and I don't want that. I'm using Grand Power because this is my strongest hero. If you can make your Pandora the strongest, if you have, let's say, on stage one upgrade, okay, but it's quite expensive to actually get her, so that's why I'm focusing on making my strongest hero Grand Swordsman. And with the Grand Power, he hits more damage, because he's in the front row and he's going to be hit probably. I'm using the Vampire Mask to heal him, but as I said, if I had the other relic, I'm probably going to use this one on him, and the other one on the Vampire Mask I'm going to put on me. I'm using Revenge Gluntlet, not sure if this is pronounced right, but it basically increases on some of the allies stack. This is the only reason I'm using it, and I'm using Revenge Wheel because it can make more damage to the enemies, and he hits quite big damage. And finally, for Captain Octopus, I'm using Dragon's Head because if I use it on any of the other characters, it's going to be debuffed, and he won't get the bonus damage. If you use it on you, basically this one won't work, and think some of these relics don't work with it. That's why I'm using it on him. I could switch it over here, but then the Grand Power won't work, so that's why I'm using it here. I'm using this one here. I'm using Filtering because it focuses only on one enemy, and basically it's going to reduce their critical and increase your attack, so he hits quite a big damage. I'm using Fate Bow exactly the same reason, because it's focused on one enemy, and it can mark them and increase your critical. I'm using Titan Spark because I don't have any other better relic to use them on him personally. I think it's quite useless relic because in the first 3 rounds, if you're killed, you have a chance of getting resurrected and restore 20% of your HP, and most likely it's not happening, so it's quite useless for me. Every while I'm using it because I don't have anything else to use, but this is good to use on a hero that attacks multiple targets, not only one, but it doesn't hit quite much damage. And let's say, because most of the people are going to be able to get these heroes from events, for this one it's quite hard to get it from event. Most of the time you can get it by donation or spending Ember, but let's say you don't have that character. I suggest I was using Undead Skeleton, but he has quite a defense, and if you can make him on legendary to be, I think 5 upgrades of him, it's useful. But maybe if you had this team, probably I would try to use Wava, because he's going to attack multiple targets, and he's actually going to make quite much more damage than him. But it just depends. No matter what you're going to use, if you're using this one, I suggest you use Pandora, and the only thing maybe you wanna switch over here is basically maybe you wanna put Loki's head on the sorceress and take, let's say, this relic out, or this one, doesn't really matter, and that's basically what you're going to switch. This relic, magical carpet, is very useless, doesn't recover much HP, and not worth of using because it's only for one character. If you use explosive wand, you're actually going to lose damage because this relic debuffs a lot of the others. The relics like Grand Power, Glue, Medusa's Mask, Charming and stuff like that, it quite debuffs them, so that's why I don't use it on anyone. Hell's Gate, not quite useful because it only restores your rage and sometimes HP, but not worth if you ask me because it needs to be stacked and doesn't quite work so well. And Satanic Stained Glass is basically thing that can restore HP again, and don't see it useful, so that's why I don't use it. I have the relics on these characters because I'm using them for leader run. Okay, so let's go for blessing right now for the relics. What you want to focus on over here is mainly upgrading your murder weapon until you get it to level 5. After that, for the ruins you get in here, you wanna put your strongest one on the murder weapon. As you can see, if you have some that give more critical, use them, and basically prestige too. Then you want to focus on getting Walkie's Mirror, again putting quite strong relics on it. And after that, the other relics you want to focus on are if you have the Galil or the Grand Power, you should focus on them. I'm personally going to focus on this one. After I upgrade my murder weapon today, I need only 2 levels, so I'm 100% going to get 300 spirit ashes. And the other relics you want to focus on after you get this one to level 5, 6, this one to 5, the other 2 on level 5 also. You want to focus on blessing your shiny armor and your hammer and your heart of entirety. And after that, Medusa's Mask. Basically these are all the relics you want to upgrade over here. Don't think it's useful to upgrade this one, so I wouldn't do that. If you get all the other relics to level 5, I suggest you just focus on making your murder weapon as strong as possible. And now for the ruins, what I suggest you use, let's say I'm going to see, I think I have, okay, let's say this piece. As you can see, the last time it gives plus 4500 critical, so you can use resistance ruin to upgrade to level 15 if it has some kind of critical bonus, prestiges and stuff like that. I suggest you find some kind of way to use your elite ruins, no matter if they are attack, prestige, critical, okay, resistance or anything. It just will give you more power, but it's basically lucky if you get some kind of good stats in the level 12 and 15 upgrade, because as you can see on this one I get bulk, and for me that's basically useless. What you want to focus on getting as relics is basically as many as you can. You should get them critical ruin, because this is the thing you need most from everything. So you want to focus on putting critical ruins, but let's see, I think I have one over here. So let's say if you have some kind of ruin like this, it's okay because the last update is prestige and it has one more time prestige. So you can use this critical, but let's say if you had 3 resistance on it and it's a critical ruin, I personally, if you're a beginner and don't have ruins, okay, use it, but if you're not, so don't use it. Better just divorce it. It's much healthier for you. But what you want to focus on putting, let's say on your mortal weapon, is critical ruins. And let's say for this one I suggest you put defense, but as you can see I'm putting basically the next strongest ruins I have. All of my elite ruins are on me because it's going to give you more defense, more damage, critical resistance, and it's always better to make your character the strongest. So the relics you use on him, you should focus on putting your strongest ruins on him as well. And for all the other parts of the ruins, I suggest you just use critical. If you don't have critical, use prestige. If you don't have prestige, use some kind of other. As you can see, I have here HP, just because I don't have anything stronger to put. But most likely my ruins are criticals, prestige, again critical, defense, HP, prestige, attack. You want to focus on putting on yourself on the other relics, critical ruins, then prestige, and lastly attack. And you want to focus on having a good bonus points, like let's say this one. The last one is pretty shitty because it's resistance, but everything else is pretty good, so I suggest you go for it and upgrade it to level 15. Also, if you have, I'm not sure if I have one, but let's say you have a ruin that has only upgrades to level 12. Maybe if you don't have any other, you can put it and upgrade it to level 5, but don't upgrade it to level 12, because as long as you get some kind of other ruin that's have upgrade to level 15, it's much better to use it because you're going to get more bonuses. But basically this is what you want to focus on, putting critical, precision, and attack. For your level, as I said, you want to focus on making this one the strongest and level 20, and for every other relic you should focus on making them to level 10. The equipment ruins you saw on me, on my characters, I suggest you go for, let's say if you have all these relics that I have, make this one 10, make this one 20, excuse me, make this one 20, then you're going to make level 10 this one, walkies, shiny armor, fairy hammer, Galil, walkie's head, arc power, Medusa, grand power, thunder, because you can make it to S+, and it's just going to give you extra bonus, heart, dragon's head, and after that basically whatever you have. Don't think it quite really matters what's the next thing you're going to upgrade, but make sure all the relics you use on you, you can upgrade them to level 10 and focus on putting critical and prestige and attack ruins. That's the stuff you need to focus on yourself, most likely. Basically this is everything I wanted to say about the relics, a little bit more than the last video, which was quite quick for most of the stuff. I'm going to do, when the server starts, a wing trial, and I'm going to try to explain it. Maybe I'm just going to record it, and after that I'm going to make a voice recording to explain and say exactly why I'm doing and how I'm doing the stuff. But basically this is it. I'm going to put only one more video about this game. It's going to be about the Link Trail, and these 3 videos are going to be everything what I want to give as tip, let's say it like that. So thanks for watching.